Hello everyone, my name is Suzanne Sharif. In this project, I will be discussing how coral poaching has impacted on the Great Barrier Reef, and I will investigate how coral poaching occurs and its effect on the reef. Firstly, coral poaching occurs when we illegally remove marine organisms such as animals, seashells, and coral from the aquatic. The removal of aquatic nature causes degradation to the Great Barrier Reef and the ecosystem. Consequently, when this befalls, its effect on marine life will cause an extensive damage removal of coral reef, coral bleaching, and extinction of species. We humans are desensitized by issues that we cannot physically see. We believe our desire to domesticate exotic species like amino fish for our pleasure, amusement, outweighs the need for a balanced ecosystem. Throughout my investigation on this matter, the databases consulted were peer-reviewed journal articles, library books, scholarly websites, and Curtin University databases like the library, in which I have some examples below on the screen. In using sources written by academics has allowed me to collect relevant and reliable information needed to finish the task. From analysing materials I have collected from the web and other reports and sources, secondary sources of information is included in my presentation, making sure it is reliable, accurate, and valid. Using scholarly sources was really useful as I knew the information being obtained was qualified material and answered my questions competently. Using keywords such as threats to coral reefs and effects on coral reefs has made my research less problematic and allowed me to obtain information quite efficiently. Some complications I have encountered with where I had found some really useful information and Curtin Library didn't have them available, so I had to pay for them, and some great journal articles, but when it came to referencing them, they were quite old. I overcome these by using widely resources as I found it a reliable database instead of ProQuest, where I found it not very resourceful at all. Throughout my research, I have obtained information regarding how coral poaching is affecting the Great Barrier Reef. I have explored a number of concerns regarding this issue, which included the removal of seashells and sea animals, as well as removal of coral itself. Furthermore, after thorough investigation, I have witnessed on the news that major threats towards the Great Barrier Reef is occurring due to human infrastructure, causing degradation to the ecosystem. I further researched that the removal of coral reefs will lead to an increased damage caused by natural disasters such as floods, earthquakes, or hurricanes, but chiefly tsunamis to human infrastructure. If we continue to remove marine organisms, it may lead to extinction. Therefore, in order to reduce the concern of coral poaching, consumerism needs to be regulated. I have also researched more questions in which will further investigate my findings in researching the following questions, which are provided on my screen below. Main threats to the Great Barrier Reef, outlining one of the major threats. How is coral poaching affecting the marine ecosystem? And lastly, what could be done to prevent coral reef poaching? In connection with the Australian curriculum, I believe Years 3 and 4 would suit my inquiry best. Science is a human endeavour, the context description. Science knowledge helps people to understand the effect of their actions. How specifically this relates to this project is providing the students with a research activity in the classroom, which involves them to work in small groups and discussing how coral poaching has impacted on the Great Barrier Reef, has resulted in an understanding in which human infrastructure can result in tsunamis. If humans continue to remove marine organisms, it may lead to extinction. I have found another Australian curriculum linkage in science inquiry skills where stated with guidance, identify questions in familiar contexts that can be investigated scientifically and make predictions based on prior knowledge. How specifically this relates to this project could be used in the classroom by providing the students in researching the range of questions that could be asked about coral poaching and with guidance, identifying those questions that could be measured accordingly. Before the end of the lesson, placing the students in small groups as they can reflect on what they have learnt about coral poaching with one another. References: